So today we're going to do some foam rollering. So I've got my thick foam roller. You can do this with a thinner, smaller one as well, or a shorter one. This is quite a long one. So start with the foam roller on your mat and then come and sit down on your bottom. Slowly lower yourself down onto the foam roller so that it's coming into your upper back. So I can feel that just underneath my shoulder blades. And that's where we're going to start. So putting your hands wherever they're comfortable. We're just going to start by rolling your body up and down. So your feet are pushing into the floor, your hips are hovered off the ground, and then you're just gently rolling the foam roller to the middle of your back. So kind of where your shoulder blades end. So the bottom of your shoulder blades are then rolling up into your shoulder blades. That section, middle of your back, in between your spine and your shoulder blades, so you should feel some pressure there. You can always bring your hands around the back of your head. This can help support your neck. So interlace your fingers around your back and then just let your neck, your head sit into your hands so that your neck can relax. And you're just going to roll forwards and backwards, feeling that stretch. And you can adjust. So if you need to move your feet a bit further, so if you've got a tight spot, you can stay on that little bit for a while. And then just adjust. So I'm just going to move my feet a bit further away so I can get more in to the top of my back. And maybe move your elbows together a bit closer. Feet are pushing into the floor, so the movement is being dictated by your feet, pushing and pulling your body. And then relax your hips down to the ground, release your arms down, shift yourself up and bring yourself further down so that the roller is kind of at your lower back, and then lean up and over the roller and pull your knees into your chest. And then just kind of shift your weight side to side, forwards and backwards, just rolling your lower back across the foam roller. And again, you can kind of shift it, move it upwards, downwards, see if you can feel any areas of tension that you might want to stay there a little bit longer. And then relax. Bring your hands onto your roller and just kind of start to push it away from you and let your hips gently drop to the floor. And then come up to sitting. Bring the foam roller around underneath your arm. So we're going to lie on it on your side with this upper section of your back side on the roller. So it's kind of chest height, just underneath your armpit. Reach this arm underneath arm straight, and then we're just going to roll up and down. So pushing from your knees or your legs, roll up and down, rolling, carry on. This section here of your upper back, so into your shoulder muscles. It's quite tender for me, so just remember to keep breathing. Go gently. If you need to, you can always prop yourself up a little bit on your other hand so you've got less pressure. So I'm pushing this hand down into the ground so that I've got less pressure onto the foam roller. And just go slowly, do a few slow, a few quick. You can always stop. So if you find a position where you feel the pain, stop there. Take a deep breath, relax the muscles. This is really good for your shoulder rotators, so it can get tight and cause strains in your shoulder. And then we'll relax. And we'll turn over onto the other side, so do the other arm. So foam roller to the other side. You can just turn over. Find the positioning first. So knees bent, straighten your arm, gently lay yourself down so that it comes into just underneath your armpit. Bring your other hand to the floor, just start to roll up and down. I'm just going to shift myself so I can place my hand above the foam roller. That feels more comfortable for me. Reaching that underneath arm straight. Sliding up and down. If you notice that any areas of tightness, just hold Stop, take a deep breath, feel that pressure, try and soften and relax the muscles in that area. The shoulders can get really tight, very tight. Just helping to ease, self-massage the muscles. And then you can relax on that one and we'll push yourself up to sitting. Turn back over onto your backs again. This time we're going to come and sit on the roller. So sit your bottom on the roller. Bring your hands behind you to support your weight. Cross one leg over the other. So bring your foot up off the floor, place it on top of the other knee. So you're in this figure 4 position, one foot on the ground, one knee bent. Shift your weight onto that lifted foot, leg, hip. And we're just going to roll forwards and backwards. So your weight is on your bottom of the leg that's off the floor, that's crossed over the knee. Try and relax your muscles and just roll forwards and backwards into that hip joint. A bit of a squeaky floor going on here, so I'm just going to shift position a little bit. And then once you've gone forwards and backwards a few times, notice how that feels, you can start to rotate a little bit to take this bent knee down towards the ground a bit without falling over, and then roll forwards and backwards in that position. And you're just finding those sweet spots, those areas of tension in your hip, and rolling through them. Trying to relax your muscles as you do. So roll forward and back. And breathe. Make sure you're breathing all the time. So we've done forwards and backwards, rotating left to right. And now just stay with the roller still, and then just roll kind of a twist motion. So the roller's still, just let that knee move to the side and then back to the middle. So your body is moving, not the roller this time. So you're easing into that stretch. And again, you can shift the position of the roller if you're not quite getting any sensation. Kind of shift it into a different position on your hip. Press a bit more weight down into it. Roll to the side, back to the middle. And then we'll stay in the centre, drop that foot down and change legs. So cross the other leg over, ankle on your knee to start with. Bring your weight, shift it onto that bottom, that hip, and then just roll yourself forwards and backwards. Rolling forwards and backwards. And again, you might need to move your hands forwards, away from you, towards you, to get that right position. Try and soften and relax your muscles as you roll through the muscles in your hip. So if you're holding loads of tension, you're not going to get as good of a stretch. So you want to try and relax as you roll. You can start to rotate a little bit, so take that knee down towards the ground, to the side. And notice the difference between one side and the other. One side might feel tighter, one side might feel easier. Be aware of the weight you're putting into your hands. So if you're not getting much in your hips, not getting much stretch or sensation, you can loosen the weight off your hands and sit a bit more upright so you get more weight into the hip, onto the roller. So the more pressure you have coming down here, the bigger the depth you're going to get, the bigger the stretch, the deeper the stretch. So if you need to take a bit of weight off your hands, do so. And the other way, if it's too much on your hip, lean a bit more into your hands and your feet. And that will give you a gentler roller stretch into your hip. Just easing forwards and backwards, towards the side. And if you find a place that's particularly sensitive, you can just stay there. Stay in that position, roll in that position and ease the stretch there. And then work your way back to the centre, so your weight's in the middle, and then we'll just rock to the side and back to the middle. Foam roller staying still, you're just letting your hips roll to the side and back. You might need to shift forwards and backwards to get the best position for that stretch. The best stretch. Feeling your hips pressing down into the foam roller. Breathing, always breathing deeply. And then we'll stay in the middle. Drop that foot down and roll your bottom down to the ground. Just let your arms have a break, so just kind of shake your arms out. It's quite a lot of pressure on your arms when you do these foam roller things. And then we're going to bring the foam roller down now to your lower legs. So bring one foot off to the side. I'm just going to move my roller over so that it's not, so that then I can put this bent knee in a comfortable position. And I'm placing the roller at mid-calf level, so in the middle between my knee and my ankle, right in the centre. Bring my hands behind me and then roll forwards and backwards on my calf. So roll to the ankle, to the knee. So you're kind of going up about an inch lower than the knee and an inch higher than the ankle. So forwards and backwards, just in the centre. So my toes are pointing to the ceiling as I'm coming forwards and backwards. And then turn your toes in. So turn your toes towards the other leg. And then we'll come forwards and backwards, holding that pigeon toe position. So your leg is rotating inwards. And let your foot be floppy. Again, we're trying to roll through soft muscles. If you tighten your muscles, you won't get as deep into the stretch. If you notice any areas of tightness, maybe just hold for a second, take a breath. Fully relax. See if you can soften a bit more. And then maybe even small pulses can be nice. So you've got the long motions, you've got the holds, and you can do small forward backward pulses. And then come back through the centre, so you can rest your hips down, release your arms for a minute. Turn your toes out the other way, so toes turned out away from your body, and then we'll roll forwards and backwards in that position. So relax foot, don't hold the flex of the foot, just let the toes flop out. And then just rolling up the side, so where your shin bone goes into the fleshy part of your calf, rolling up and down. And then back through the centre and rest your hips down. Release your arms for a moment and we'll move on to the other side. So position the roller mid-calf level between your ankle and your knee in the centre. Resting your hands behind you, take that weight. As you take the weight, try and keep your elbows slightly soft so you're not locked into position. Slight soften of the elbows, soften of the shoulders, relax your shoulders. And then roll when you're ready, forwards and backwards in the centre. So to start with, toes pointing to the ceiling and then floppy foot. Roll, inch below the knee, inch above the ankle. Roll forwards and backwards, trying to relax. That full length. Push through the other foot. So this foot here is allowing the movement. That's the foot that you're using to push away as your hips draw back, pull towards you, to pull you back the other way. So your hands are pushing you, but your foot is also contributing. And then you can rest your hips down for a second, just let your arms release, few shoulder circles. Turn your toe in, so toes turning towards the other leg. Prop yourself up and roll forwards and backwards, floppy foot. Don't hold that flex of your foot, just turn your toes in and let your foot relax. Roll up and down. And breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. If you have any of those areas of tightness and tension, remember you can go slowly through them. You can pulse forwards and backwards. You can just hold still. You can always hold still, rest your hips down, take a breath before going back into it. Breathing as you move, rolling up and down. And then we'll come back to the centre. Rest your hips down, relax your arms and shoulders. Turn your foot out the other way, so toes turned out, leg turned out. Take the weight through your arms and roll forwards and backwards. Floppy foot, relax your foot. Check your positioning. Have you shifted forwards and backwards? So just find the best position where you can support yourself the best with your arms. Because as I say, it is quite a big arm and shoulder workout too when you do these, because you're holding a lot of your body weight up with your arms. So if you do need to rest, just rest, pause and return when you can. So just rolling up the side of that shin bone, noticing any areas of tightness or tension. Pulsing if you want to, if you find an area. Holding. Feeling that full length, and then come back to the middle, just roll up and down the centre, and then relax. Rest your hips down onto the ground. Release. And then we'll finish there for the big foam roller. Okay, well done.